Hi, I'm Kevin Strohmeyer with N Computing, and today I want to talk about a new deployment option for N Computing virtual desktops called Hybrid VDI. It used to be, maybe just 5 years ago, that if you walked into the average server room, you'd see lots and lots of servers, some very old, some very new, and each of those had some sort of dedicated application tied to that operating system and the hardware. This meant that to manage any particular application, to do any upgrades, you had to manage a very particular piece of hardware. And that had a lot of disadvantages in the way that you could manage your server room. So in the past 5 years, there's been the growth of a new technology called server virtualization. And with that technology, they were able to consolidate all of those individual server loads onto fewer pieces of equipment. And they did this by using what's called a virtual machine. Here's a quick diagram, if you will, of a server. We have the underlying hardware. We have the virtualization technology called a hypervisor. Loaded on top of that hypervisor and abstracted from the hardware are individual loads with operating system and applications. So you'll see that this one particular server may have 1, 2, 3, maybe 8 individual servers running on it at any time. What makes this very unique is that now these individual servers are not loaded directly onto the server, but just live as part of a network file system. So it's easy just to click a mouse, maybe delete one of these servers, or provision one of these servers from software very quickly and efficiently. So this idea has certainly caught on and has really revolutionized the way that server rooms are managed. So it was only a matter of time before people said, well, let's take this same idea and apply it to desktops. Instead of having to manage individual PCs on every desk, why can't I just put all those PCs virtually onto my server hardware and then access those remotely? And so this is what started off the term VDI, or virtual desktop infrastructure. And it's the idea of having one user being able to access an instance of a virtual PC back here on the server with all the management tools that administrators were used to with server virtualization. But there are a few problems with standard VDI. First is that because you are loading multiple desktops onto the server hardware, you'll soon have very many single instances of the operating system, many more than what most hypervisor server technology were made for. Also, since each of these servers is just running as part of a file system, you need to have some expensive and high-speed storage behind the server in order to manage and maintain the performance of each of these desktops. And further, since you access these individual applications through maybe a standard protocol like RDP, you certainly have some performance limitations as to how that remote technology works, but you also still need a client that can speak RDP and that can still and you still have to manage that device. So here I have a PC, you may have a thin client, but each of these clients out here is still going to have its own operating system and still going to need to be managed to some degree. So hybrid VDI within computing is really just taking this same idea as sort of one-to-one VDI and instead doing a one-to-many. So if I take one of these individual desktops here running, let's say, Windows and an application stack, I can install vSpace software from N Computing onto that particular desktop, and now up to 30 users could be sharing that exact desktop. So effectively, I've reduced the number of operating systems and instances or virtual machines that I have to manage and maintain by as much as 30 to 1. So that has a huge impact on the cost of the storage, of the software infrastructure that you have to deal with in order to deploy your desktops. But more importantly, because we're using vSpace software, it is already set up to use the low-cost N Computing L130 or L230 access device. And so you don't need any other software. There's nothing to manage on these little devices. all you have to do is plug it into your network, install the vSpace software into each of your desktops, and start allowing your users to log in. If you have any more questions about hybrid VDI, please check out our website at www.ncomputing.com. There's a new white paper that you can find up there, as well as other resources. Thank you very much.